All right, in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can build amazing pop-ups like these inside of your Klaviyo account. So as you can see here, what we're going to actually do and what we'd like to do for clients is set up a pop-up micro commitment versus a mystery discount A/B test. Now, this is the first test we run unless we have a test to run regarding the offer. So obviously the offer is the highest leverage test, but for some brands, they can't really, change the offer due to their margins. So once you have finalized your offer and you're happy with your offer and you know it's a proven winner, then this would be the first test you would run inside of your sign up forms in Klaviyo, and it'll be the micro commitment versus a mystery discount. So first, let's just walk through each pop-up and I'll show you why we like setting these up. So like I mentioned, gathering zero-party data is so crucial in the pop-up phase. And this is a way that we like to do it. And it doesn't actually affect the sign-up rate. So you need to be very careful that when you collect zero-party data, it doesn't affect the sign-up form submit rate, because obviously the end goal is to get as many sign-up forms, sign-ups as possible. So what we like to do is a micro commitment, and simply step one looks like this. So pretty much we say, would you like 10% off to claim? Please let us know which best describes your situation. And for this brand, obviously they sell supplements to solve hair and skin issues, bloating, stomach pain, brain fog, and fatigue. So we actually wanted to find what the common pain points were. So obviously I can just see a typo here. So let me just fix this quickly. Fatigue, awesome. So yeah, we wanted to find what the common pain points were, as this gave the founder and the team a good understanding of what the most common issues were in order of severity, right? So hair and skin issues, bloating and stomach pain, brain fog and fatigue were the three main sort of pieces of data we wanted to collect. And this can be applied to any brand. So if you're gym wear, obviously you can collect male, female. So whatever it is, you can collect this data, and then you can personalize the journey of your subscribers. And I only recommend, splitting up your welcome flows if you are at that 8-figure mark. If you are below that, it's still important to gather this data, but I wouldn't recommend splitting the welcome flows and the abandoned cart flows, as there just isn't enough traffic going through these flows to make a severe impact, and you're better off testing the existing one flow path rather than creating 40 different welcome emails. So now we've got that out of the way, let's walk through each pop-up here. So obviously step one of the micro commitment, the whole goal here is to get them to micro commit into, opting into the pop-up. So obviously when they click a button here, they've micro committed into step two, and they're much more likely to actually give you their email address because they're actually further down the journey here. As if you're asking them to collect, the email on the first page, they're less likely to do that because, it's the beginning of the journey. And once someone starts something, they're much more likely to finish it. So what we do here is we give them a quick win or a quick way and an easy, frictionless way to, begin the pop-up journey. So obviously, let's say they click bloating and stomach pain, then they go to step two when they can actually enter their discount. And then step three is obviously giving them a code and heading to the shop now page. Moving over to the mystery discount, which we will be A/B testing. Now, clearly you can see here, the opt-in is on the first page here, but the reason why we put the opt-in on the first page is because we're tapping into curiosity with the mystery discount, and we're not actually revealing the discount right away. So you can see, hey, you've unlocked your mystery discount, enter your email to claim. So they enter their email to claim, so they don't know the discount value and they can't get that revealed unless they opt in here, which is why this works well. And only when they opt in, then we say, hey, you've won 10% off. And then to help us understand your situation, which best describes your symptoms. And then they can input that data in that second form there. And then third form here is obviously giving them that discount code. So you can see these are the two structures we're going to run, and I'm going to show you how to set these up inside of Klaviyo right now. Awesome. So now we're in Klaviyo, obviously in the sign up form area. So what we want to do is actually create a form here. And what I like, and one of the easiest forms I like to use, you can use a pop-up form or a full page form. Now, after doing a lot of testing, we actually find the full page forms tend to outperform. So in this case, I'm actually going to set up a full page form for this brand. And I'm just going to go label it the 10% off website pop-up offer. And then when you're choosing a list, you want to make sure this is synced to your welcome flow, because obviously they're going to be going through the welcome flow here. So for this account, the welcome flow is actually called the newsletter. And then also we want to actually include a teaser. So make sure that's enabled there. I'm actually going to move my guy over here. And now once you've done that, you can create your form. So yeah, obviously making sure that's funneling to your sign up form is funneling to your welcome flow. Awesome. Now we're in here. So you can see we've got mobile and desktop version. Now what I actually like to do is set up a mobile and a desktop variation of the pop-up here. So you want to actually, instead of creating the one pop-up in this sort of section here, what I like to do is I go to targeting behavior. I'll move myself here, targeting, and I'm going to actually, it's in display. I'm going to make it mobile only. So we're going to create a mobile only form and then duplicate this and create a desktop only form. The reason why is this allows us to really maximize the customization for this form for mobile. Mobile is obviously where 80% of most brands traffic comes from. So really important that you're creating a mobile optimized form and then a desktop optimized form. So if we just jump back to our Figma file, because we like to create in Figma first, we're just going to start pulling over this data and this information into the Klaviyo. So obviously, paste with formatting. Would you like 10% off? I'm just going to delete these buttons here, delete block. Cool. Now we're just going to build this. So I will put this like this. Would you like 10% off? 50. For this brand, we actually use the font Poppins. So we are going Poppins. I'm just referring back to this Figma file. So obviously you want to build your pop-up in Figma first, just to get the layout right. And then you can match it inside of Klaviyo. We find that to be a much easier way to do it. And then you can create your variations as well, nice and quickly. And all you have to do is sort of copy and paste, right? So would you like 10% off? I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. And this one can be much bigger, so around 60, 65 even. So you just play around with the sort of numbers until you find something that sort of suits, right? So now we've got that headline looking nice. Obviously we need to change this subheader. So we're jumping back here and to claim, please let us know. So 24, 20, yes, that looks good. Just change that to Poppins. Normal. Nice. And what I'll actually do here is I'm going to reduce this padding here on this block here, just because it is a little big. So I'm just going to change it to even 0. And that's looking nice. Now, obviously, we need to change this background, because obviously if we look at this form here, we have this background with, you can see some supplements here that we've included just to give that awesome effect. So what I'm going to do here is actually, so just duplicate this form. And then I'm just going to clear all of this information here. And I'm actually going to just download this, export to PNG. I'm going to export this, and this is going to actually be the background. So when we go into styles, background image, you enable that, and then you can select an image based on the one you just created, right? So now that we're importing this, you can see that's adjusted and that is looking nice. You can see that background is matching very nicely, which is looking great. So we're going to jump back here. And you can see we probably need to add some padding at the top here. So if I just go through about 50, I would say, looks good. And that is looking nice. You can see the next step, if we just jump back here, is we obviously need to add these input fields here. So what I'm going to do is actually show you how to do this. So we're obviously deleting the buttons, and obviously now that we're collecting zero-party data, we actually, when they press a button, we need to add a property that we're submitting the form to. So what you actually need to do in this situation is obviously first change the action to submit form, make sure it goes show next step, and then submit hidden fields. So obviously profile property and a value. So we need to add a property here, and we need to create a new property. And this is going to be, we're going to name this issue. So obviously the data we're collecting is issue, and then we're going ZPD for zero party data. Or let's actually label it pop up zero party data. And now we've created an issue, and we can select a value to create. So the value that we want to do for this first one is obviously when we jump back here, it's going to be hair and skin issues. So we're just grabbing that, and then hair and skin issues is going to be the input we are gathering. So now when someone clicks this button here, and we're obviously labeling hair and skin issues, they're going to actually go through the hair and skin issues, and that's going to be attached to their profile now. So now it's attached to their profile. We can create a segment of all the people who said hair and skin issues, and you can send them content that is personalized, or it's just useful data to gather so that can be applied to your messaging across your website and your ads. So now we need to do the same for the rest. So what we're going to do here is just copy this color. We actually need to match. Sorry, we need to match this color here. So we're just going to pull this color, and this is going to be the pop-up color. Awesome. Text needs to be white. And this second field is going to just say bloating and stomach pain. Poppins, medium, do the same. Going to grab another block and create our third block here. You really want to make sure they all match. Right, so make sure all of the styles are matching correctly. There are no errors or differences. Normal. The text size is 18. And then the input is brain fog and fatigue. Cool. And then we just need to make sure the spacing between each line here is the same. So you can see if we scroll down, the bottom is 4, and then the top here is 4. So we need to make sure that is the same. We're just going to go 4. But the bottom here is 8. So if we change that to 4, now we can see that's all aligned, but we also can see that the bottom, we probably need to actually tighten this up a little bit just to give us some extra room. So we go 30. And then the bottom padding here, just to give the border a nice little border. You can see, I'd say around 25 would be ideal. And you can see that is looking nice. Yes, it is looking nice to me, even a little bit tighter. Let's go 15 to give it a bit of breathing room. And you can see here that is looking good, the first page of this form. So what I like to do here as well is I actually like to dim the color of this a little bit, right? So if it's nice and bold here, it makes it very easy for someone to click off. So I'm just going to dim it a little bit. So it's still there, but it's not in their face, and you know, it's not the first thing that they actually see. So I'm actually going to make this like that. Obviously it is a full page form, so we still want to give them the option here. So yeah, something, just find the right sort of transparency, and you can see that looks nice now. So obviously we've done hair and skin issues. Now we need to add bloating for the zero party data. So make sure they're on submit form, show next step, and then we go issue. So what actually happens here is when we create this, right, we actually need to go in and create a profile or update a profile with this issue here. Otherwise, it won't actually populate. So what I'm actually going to do here is click exit, because as you can see, when we hit here and we try to type in that property that we created, it hasn't come up yet. So we actually need to populate it with a profile. So what I'm going to do is jump and go to my actual profile in this c.net, find myself, and I want to add a custom property to myself. Issue is going to be pop-up ZPD, and the value in this case, I'm just going to grab the value here, hair and skin issues, add that, and now you can see that's come up. And now I can add another custom property, issue. See, it still hasn't come up yet, so I'm just going to refresh and see if this custom property has come up yet. So now you can see it comes up when we search it up, which is great. So now we just need to add the remaining properties here. And what this does is actually populates it now. So it shows there's existing properties here. So every time you do that, you just need to refresh. And when we go to issue, you can see there's 2 properties here now. We just need to create the third one, which is brain fog and fatigue. So you can see now we've created those 3 properties, and now they're going to actually show in the pop-up phase, which is all that we want. So if we jump back to sign up forms, and we actually find our form, 10% off website pop-up. And now you should be able to see hair and skin issues. Obviously we created that, so that's come up. Bloating and stomach pain. So if we issues, you can see it come up, and then bloating and stomach pain. Now we can actually match these and make sure they're all done. So yeah, make sure you create those properties inside a test property. So whether it's your own name, make sure you're doing that inside of your account, and then everything else will show up. So we can see brain fog and fatigue. So you can see everything is matched: bloating and stomach, hair and skin issues. Now when they click each button, it's going to submit to whatever they chose, and now that's going to be attached to their property. So that is the first step. And now all we need to do is add another step here, and this is going to be collecting blank step, because we need to obviously collect the email field now. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a block. We're going to add an email input under here. And all we need to do is just match this again. So you've got 10% off. Awesome. It's already on Poppins, which is great. Let's make sure the text is dark. And we're going to grab this, enter your email, jump back into Klaviyo. We're going to pull a new block here, add this in, align this, Poppins. Padding looks good. Just going to reduce this padding to 0. And this one, so when you want to separate padding, you just click that button and it'll separate the padding. Awesome, that's looking nice. Just change this. Obviously we need to submit this now, so we're going to choose newsletter, and it's going to submit. That email is obviously label. It's going to be email address. You don't need to show the label, so make sure that's switched off. And that's looking nice. It looks like it matches nicely. We just need to change this to claim my discount, and you can see the wording here is actually really important. So when you say claim my discount, it already acts as if they've earned that discount, right? And it's theirs. So if they don't claim it, then they lose it. So it plays into loss aversion. So it's important that the wording on your pop-up is really nailed. So claim my discount would be better than I don't know, submit form, for instance. So we're saying you've already got it, so just claim it, right? So that is a tip that I recommend. So as you can see, it's coming off nicely. So would you like 10% off? You've got 10% off, claim my discount. We're just going to change this because obviously attention to detail is important and we need all the colors to match for branding purposes. You've got 10% off. And now the last page here is obviously your in. Use code at checkout to claim. So we're just going to copy and add this step or success page. You can see here. So they've already sort of built out this success page. So we're just going to edit it with our own details. You're in. We can just use this, which is existing, because I actually like the wording here. Add this, apply this coupon to your cart for 10% off. Enter coupon. We're just going to change the color of this so it, it matches the brand a little bit nicer. Go to white. The font does not need to be that big as well, but we're going to add this code in here. Welcome. Nice. And then all we need to do now is just add in a button here. This is going to be continue shopping or continue browsing. It's up to you. I like to say continue shopping because we want them to shop, obviously. And we're just going to extend this out. 70. Nice. I'm going to remove this image as it's not on brand. You're in, continue shopping. Going to change this to Poppins. Normal width. All right, that's looking nice. That's looking very, very nice. So we can actually create a bit of padding here just to bring everything up nicely. So if we go to 60, yeah, that just brings everything up a little bit nicer. And yeah, that pretty much there you have it, guys. So if you want from here, we need to go, you can go to inbox, or what I recommend is actually going to a URL, and now you can take them to a collections page directly. It is up to you. You can either close form and they can continue on the page, or they can go to URL, so you can take them to a specific product page or a destination of your choice. So if they input their details, they're highly likely they're higher intent, right? So you can take them directly to a product page, or you can just close form. It is up to you. For now, we'll just click close form, and there you have it. You can see we've built this website pop-up. It's looking amazing. Just looking at the order here, you can see step 1, would you like 10% off? Getting those micro commitments, submitting those fields. Then step 2 is you've got 10% off, claim discount, which submits them to the newsletter. And then step 3, you're in. So this is looking very nice. Now, obviously, we need to just change this teaser down here. So the thing with teasers, you need to make sure they match your brand and make sure they are selected in the right place on your page. So I like to do a little rectangle teaser. I don't actually like to have a photo image, but I like to have text which says, you can say, want 10% off, question mark. Obviously you just align that in the middle. You make the text nice and big. That's probably a little bit too big in my opinion. And go to Poppins. So teasers are great because what they do is if someone accidentally clicks off, this teaser will still be there. And also if you have your pop-up firing at a lengthy time, like just say it takes 50 seconds for the pop-up to load and fire, having a teaser here can sort of fast track that, because if someone clicks it, it gives them a great way to sign up right away. So I like to do a small teaser. You can do it in the middle. You can change the layout, to whatever you like, but obviously make sure it matches. I like to go at the bottom, and you can select your settings. So I like to go show before displaying form and after form is closed. You also want to show a close button here, as it could be annoying, and if they want to click off and they don't want to receive it, that's okay too. So for their margin, I'm actually going to go 50, even bigger. Let's go 60, right? So, and this side can be 60. Awesome. So that looks nice. That looks like a nice little teaser we've got there. That'll just pop up when they're obviously not in that pop-up section. So, yeah, there you have it. Now, what we're going to actually do here is two things. First, we need to create an A/B test, and now we're going to split test with a mystery discount. And then second, we're going to duplicate and create a version for your desktop mode. So let's go ahead and create this A/B test. And for this test, we're going to go with website or micro commitment versus mystery discount. Variation A is going to be the micro commitment. Variation B is going to be the mystery discount. Now we're going to create this test. What it does, it just duplicates this pop-up, and you can see now we have two versions here. So we have this version, and now we have the mystery discount, which is going to be our new version. So let's head back to the Figma and let's set up this mystery discount pop-up, and I'm going to show you the logic here. So what we can do is actually jump into Klaviyo, and I believe we can move these around. So we're going to put this one here, because it's the input field, around to the first step now. And if you jump back into the Figma, we're just going to pull this text here, and we can just replace the text nicely. Cool. You've unlocked a mystery discount. We're going to shrink that text, shrink that big text to 48, 44, 40. Obviously we want it on the same line, right? So we're going to go 32. Nice. Now there is a bit of an issue with the spacing between this, right? So what we're going to do is actually come back here. You've unlocked a mystery discount. Awesome. So if we make this 36, make this around 24. 24. Awesome. Okay, so we've got the headline. You've unlocked a mystery discount. Enter your details to claim. Yep, so that matches nicely. So we're just going to make this smaller now so it doesn't stand out as much as it's the subtext. So we'll go about 18. And obviously we don't really like to have one word on the bottom here, so I can actually add some padding here. And I can go about 20, 50. Yep, about 50 looks good. Still, like, in my opinion, it doesn't look that nice. I feel like there's some better we can do. Enter your email to claim your discount. All right, so what I'm going to do is actually, you know what? Enter your email to claim your mystery discount. Okay, that looks a little bit better. We can also add a bit of spacing here. You've unlocked a mystery discount. Enter your email to reveal your discount. Awesome. Okay, I can actually make this a little bit bolder, in my opinion, to give it a nicer effect and stand out a little bit more. Cool. Claim your mystery discount. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, so this is looking good as the first page. Obviously, we can actually bring this up a little bit. So how I like to bring it up is you can actually add a bit of thing here to bring that up, add a bit of padding to the bottom line. That brings it up. You've unlocked a mystery discount. Enter your email to claim your... I'm actually going to put this on the first line to claim your code. And go 0. That looks nicer. Awesome. And actually, I'm going to see if we can make this word a little bit bigger, just to give it to stand out a little bit more. 36. Cool. You've unlocked a mystery discount. Enter your email to claim your code. Enter email. Obviously, make sure this submits to the next step. Show newsletter. Claim the discount. Now that they opt in, we go to this page here and we just jump back to the Figma. And we say, you've won 10% off. So all we need to do is change this to you've won 10% off. And then we can write under here, to help us understand your situation, which best describes your symptoms. So we're just going to change this text here. And we may need to shrink the size a little bit, not to 6, to 16. Awesome. Now this looks nice, right? So this is going to obviously show next step. It's going to submit the fields because we already created them. So you've unlocked a mystery discount. You've won 10% off. You're in, apply this coupon to your cart for 10% off. And there you have it. We've set up a mystery discount versus a micro commitment A/B test. So what you do here is you obviously go continue to test settings. Actually, pardon me, before we actually do that, we actually need to make sure the targeting behavior is correct. So what we like to do here, targeted based on rules, visitor exiting page after time delay. Let's go time delay around 8 to 12 seconds. I like to go around 10 seconds. I turn this off as well. And then I go 2 days for this. Desktop only, correct. And this is the settings I like. So this is what I suggest. And obviously this number is going to depend on your average site, time, and also how aggressive you want to be with your signups. If you do 10 seconds, you'll get much more signups, but if you want to extend it out to 20 to 30 seconds, it'll probably better the user experience. So you make sure that's changed for both. So we're going after 10 seconds, turn that off, and turn that to 2 days. And that is looking good. So now this is done. Continue to test settings. What we're going to do now is actually publish this A/B test. So go manual, go 50-50, and then ideally you would publish this test. So I can just publish this quickly. And then what I will show you to do from here is you get this hub here. When you click on overview, you get the 10% form performance, the micro commitment form, there's mystery discount. If you go into A/B test results, it shows you this side-by-side variation of this test. So now that this is live, what you want to actually do is go ahead and, so I'm actually going to turn it off in a second, but what you want to do now is create a desktop version. So you're going to clone it and you're just going to go desktop. Continue. And now what you want to do is actually set up a desktop variation. So I'm just going to quickly turn this off, as this brand actually has some existing pop-ups running. So let's go ahead and choose winner. Just choose winner. You can see this is off now, which is nice. Off. Cool. Now let's go to the desktop version. And I'm not actually going to build this right now for you, but I'm just going to show you how exactly you would do this. So obviously you just go to targeting behavior, and you change this to desktop only. You go into the mystery discount one and you also change that to desktop only. And now you just change and build it based on desktop views. So obviously the style would be a lot different because the content width would need to be the large. Obviously it would still be full page. And yeah, obviously remove this, and you would have to upload a new photo, which is obviously based on the new width of the pop-up form. So what I would do is I would actually go back in here and build it inside of Figma and get a good view of how it will look, and then you can actually edit that in here. Obviously the logic is exactly the same. You can even keep it like this in my recommendation. So it is up to you. Hopefully this video helped. Hopefully you have a good understanding on how to run pop-ups, A/B tests, and how to set up A/B tests. From here, what I suggest is checking this A/B test on a weekly basis. Once there's a conclusive winner, then obviously you have your core pop-up, and now you can perform new A/B tests on that existing pop-up. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.